Hey yo! Welcome to the first Block Podcast for artists, by artists. We can talk about anything that we want. Give it up from Eric Curry the third, ladies and gentlemen. I'm excited for this one. Hey yo! Welcome back to another episode of the Arts Block Podcast. I'm your host, Eric Curry III, and today I have a great friend of mine. Why you look so serious? Listen up. Why you look so serious? A great friend of mine, someone who inspires me and pushes me to be better every day. We have the King here, ladies and gentlemen. We have King Dullah in the building. King Dullah Abdullah Muhammad. Hello. What's up, bro?
What's good, Eric Curry III?
How you feeling?
Good.
That's good, man. So we just gonna talk. This is just basic conversation. Loosen up. Why you look so nervous?
I ain't nervous. It's gonna be on public. I don't want to look a mess.
But you look real stiff. You look.
I gotta represent myself.
All right, man. Well, let's get straight to it. You're an actor. You're in the theater department. Why acting? How did you get into that?
Well, when audition started, we were originally able to audition for two. So I auditioned for the vocal department and the theater department. When it came down, because I got into both. When it came down to deciding, I did like my research. I talked to people about it, and I chose theater because it was just more universal, and I feel like theater is a good way to get a message out. Acting, now I still do my vocals and stuff. I gotta put like I still make music and stuff, but vocal I just didn't want to go down that path of learning like classical. They gotta sing in different languages. That just wasn't the path I wanted to take. Where
did your acting career start? Like what age, if you can remember, like where did that start from?
Well, it started when I was real young, like 4. My mom was an actress when she was younger. She was on Broadway, but my grandma didn't do the necessary things to get her portfolio perfected and stuff. So she wasn't able to pursue Broadway. She did like one show and then she couldn't do any more. But I started around when I was about 4, acting and singing. I started off with like musicals.
That's dope, man. And now you also do music. So where did that kind of start?
Well, music. Now that's tricky. Now I did sing, but I didn't become serious about it. I had a sister. She passed away in 2013. After that, my mom, she started a nonprofit organization in memory of her, and she will always do presentations every year on her birthday, and we would do them like it would be like a big performance. And I just remember one night, my sister was singing Home for a show we was doing. We was doing The Wiz, and she was singing the backgrounds for Home, and I just remember singing it, and my mom was like, "Wow, that was really good." So then that following year. The next year for Asir Zark, that was my sister's name. Asir, my mom wanted me to sing Home, and ever since then, I just love singing.
You got your own little home studio, as we can obviously see in the background. You lit right now. You go by the stage name. You go by the stage name King Dullah. Where did that come from?
Well, now that's a simple answer. I came up with King Dullah Abdullah. That's my name, Abdullah. So that was the last part. The first part, King, I wanted to be different. We have a lot of little. Like when we think about today, I don't disrespect them, but that's just not something I want to be. I don't want to be seen as little. You got Lil Wayne, Little Baby, Da Baby. You just got these small names, and when I thought of my stage name, I wanted to be something big. Something that will be respected. Now everyone's not gonna like it because I know some people that don't like it.
Now, but you are real adamant on like you're one of the only people around our age that I know that doesn't like our music that we have today. You're real old soul. Who did you get that from? Like your grandparents, your mom? Where did you pick that up?
Well, no, that's actually interesting. What happened was, when I was younger, I actually did listen to like early 2000s music. That music was fine, but I just had a shift. I noticed music started changing, and the industry started being more like about body. It was about body in early 2000s, but it was more blunt with it later. And back then, I just started listening. I always listened to Michael Jackson, Whitney Houston, but then I just started listening to like other artists because those two are real big. Everyone, I don't care what anybody say, those two names that's going to travel through history: Michael Jackson, Whitney Houston. But then I started listening to like Luther Vandross, and then going back, Patti LaBelle, Stevie Wonder, all those greats. I like their music because the lyric content is more poetic. When we listen to music nowadays, it's real blunt, which is not bad, but it's more creative when it's more poetic and metaphoric. Like they might be talking about sex, but they might be talking about to put in place of sex. They might be talking about the reproduction of a flower or something. Older music, like old school music. It's just more creative to me.
But Abdullah, you know that there are rappers that do that same thing, right?
That's true, but it's hard to come by them. If I come by them, I'll listen to them.
But Abdullah, you literally love T.I.
I do love T.I. I didn't. Now, don't get me wrong. I said I like old school music more. That doesn't mean I don't like any. I can name some artists I like today.
Who's some artists you want today, Abdullah?
I like T.I. I like Bruno Mars. I actually like Lil Wayne. I mess with some of Drake's stuff. Female artists right now, I don't really like them. They can sing.
What?
I'm sorry, like I'm everyone gonna hate me for this. Ella Mai, her, all those females, they can sing. I'm not taking that away from them. I just think they don't have what singers used to have. Like it's singing, there's a riskiness in singing. It's certain notes that you risk to touch, knowing you might not touch them. It's just a risk. They're safe singers, like Whitney Houston. She would hit some notes that you never heard. Every performance, she would hit notes you would never hear her hit. These artists, they're real comfortable. They like to be comfortable. They don't want to mess up. They're afraid of messing up, I think.
What?
Told me to be honest.
Wait, all right, hold on. Wait, all right. Wait, hold on. So you like some male artists now, but you don't like the female artists because you feel like they're so safe.
I know only one I could probably say, Jennifer Hudson, Beyonce too. Beyonce, I got it. At first I wasn't so.
Whoa, wait, hold on, wait. All right. So for the people who are listening to this podcast, the people who don't know Abdullah from a can of paint, he said Beyonce was overrated for the longest, for at least 6-7 months.
My perspective changed. What's it called? Recently The Gift. It was inspiring. It was her. She can sing. I'm not gonna take that away from her. She can sing, but the only person I think that could sing will be Jennifer Hudson. It's just a certain tone, and music is certain things that make, in my opinion, because every music is an opinionated art. Like awards, you get your award based off an opinion. It's not based off stats. Even if a song was #1 for all these weeks, you're not gonna get the award necessarily. Mm-hmm. But Jennifer Hudson, it's certain things that I like in her voice. I'm gonna say this: the best thing I like about music, the best sound is a black female singing voice. I don't care. Men can sing. White women can sing. White men can sing. People can sing. It's just something about the black female voice. It's a soul that it has to it. There's a soul within it, and there's a certain tone within it that's just, and it's unique with every artist. And what you notice about other artists, every artist, you could probably hit the same note as an artist. You could probably hit the same, like I said, the same note. But the one thing that will differentiate you from any artist is your tone. Mm-hmm. It's just tone.
And what's amazing about that is that it's the hurt. Like you can hear the hurt and the pain when the black woman sings, and it's amazing. It's always beautiful for the most part. Yeah. So to go back to your acting, right? How has the theater department been for you? Like how has it benefited you in that way?
Well, theater department. I have mixed feelings about the theater department. I do think it has changed me. I'm more disciplined. I will say I'm more disciplined than I used to be because of the theater department.
Yeah, I'll agree.
Uh, there's just certain things I don't know the purpose of yet, but I think I will later on.
Mhm.
Like Miss Calhoun warming up. I understand it's to warm the body up, but I don't understand it. And there's some things that I understand now that I didn't before, like movement. I didn't understand movement at first. Now I see I'm more aware because I know I do stuff with my shoulders a lot. Like when I act, I think it's being expressive, but I do this a lot. I lift my shoulders. And I'm more conscious of that now. So I see the purpose of that. But theater, I do think they limit you. For instance, what'd you say?
In what ways?
Um, just as an artist, as an actor, there's no age to start or no age you can't start. But I'm ready to start now. And before I was at Duke, I've done numerous things, commercials and stuff. But since I've got to Duke, I haven't had the opportunities as I would have. They're saying this because it's going to interfere with your training, which I understand. But it limits me as an artist. It does.
One thing that I've been talking to like with people in the theater department, we've been talking about just hosting our own shows. Just host our own shows. And for most of the productions that we like want to do, it doesn't take a lot of like funding and stuff. Like 12 Angry Jurors, that doesn't really take a lot to do. So what do you think about
wait, say it again. Ask the question.
what do you think about hosting our own shows and creating our own shows?
I actually think that's a good idea. I would just say we would need the correct amount of support. We would need support and funding and advertising. It can work. It can work. But I just think we will need the necessary things to get it done.
All right, what was you about to say?
I was gonna say the only thing when I first came to theater, what I was disappointed in was it was only 2 boys. As you know, it was just me and you, and then it was a bunch of females. Now I'm not sexist. I'm not. I just had to learn to be more sensitive towards them because as guys, it's just like it is what it is.
It is what it is.
It is what it is. But they've shaped me in certain ways. Like I am more sensitive about certain things I say. I am still not sensitive about a lot of things I say, but I'm working on that.
I'm literally had a conversation the other night, Dullah. you have to get better.
I know, but I do think I've made a half step is better than no steps.
That is true. That's very true.
Yeah, I just had to learn to be sensitive towards their emotions. Like certain things like they would be emotional about. I just didn't really care about it. And I was just like, I wouldn't laugh. Well, I did laugh in someone's face. But I had to learn to be more sensitive about certain things. But yeah,
do you think that that's something that you can take for forever? Like you being more sensitive to like a partner in a relationship, or you being more sensitive to like,
I do. Now relationships. I mess up it. I feel like I mess up every relationship I've ever been in.
You're dumb. I'm sorry, I just had to say that. I just had to remind you every time.
I have, but at least some people won't admit they'd be like it was their fault. But at least I know it was my fault. But I do know but the good thing about it is I know the things I need to work on. So it's not like I just been doing all this stuff. I've been doing that stuff, but I did know what I was doing wrong, but at a moment in time I actually didn't. Now I do, and I know what I need to work on.
What made you realize what you needed to work on? Or what made you realize that it was you who had the problem and not her?
Well, what made me realize I had the problem is like I'm not gonna name any names. This is just a female, for a female, a conversation, a dialogue. She'll be like, "Where you at?" And I'll say, "I'm in the car," and then she'll be like, "Where you going?" And I'm like, why you worry about where I'm going? Why you worry about where I'm going? But what I didn't realize is saying that to a female, they raise suspicion like, oh, he gonna see another girl. Oh, he cheating on me. Oh, Now me, I'm just a person that gets irritated. I get irritated really quickly, and I get
Yeah.
bored. I get bored really quickly, and that's something I realized. I knew that I get irritated real quickly, but I actually didn't know that I get bored quickly. I know that now.
Well,
Those are just certain things that I wasn't aware of.
you are that was hilarious because it's just funny because I know what situation you're speaking of. But you have gotten caught doing a lot of things. Would you like to speak on some of the things you got caught doing, Abdullah?
No comment. It's like, no, I'll speak on it. Well, like I said, I've done stupid things that I'm not so proud of. For instance, I was at a party once. When I do, yeah, okay, I'll go on that one because I don't want to tell the other ones. The other ones are worse. I'm gonna tell this one. I was at a party one time. I was with a particular girl at the moment, and I told her, "Are you coming to the party?" And she was like, "No." And I told her, if you don't come, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to control myself." And she said, "Control yourself. You can do." She just told me control myself. So when I got to the party, I was just I'm a real free spirited person, I would say.
That's how you gonna put it?
Yeah, I'm a real free spirited, and I like to live in the moment.
Mm.
And at that party, I lived in the moment. Now, my mistake was something I do that I still do have issues on is owning up to what I do. What happened was, I wasn't loyal at that party, and when I was confronted about it, I lied. And what's been brought to my attention is when females ask you something, just tell them because that just means they know and trust me.
Oh, who taught you that, Abdullah?
You don't flatter yourself. You did. But what's it called? Females always know. They do. And this is just for all the gentlemen. If you ever do anything and she asks you and you don't have a good way in covering up for it, just tell them the truth. Because you're just gonna look more stupid when she shows you the evidence. Because what she did was she said, "Were you getting claps at the party?" And I said, "No." And then she said, "Were you with a girl at the party?" And I was like, "No." And then she said, "So what's this?" Bam. And she said the evidence right in front of me. And then it was like I was busted. And then it feels worse. When you get caught, you feel worse about it because it's like, dang, now I feel more stupid because I thought I was going to get away with it, but I actually got caught and they got evidence. So it was no way of covering it up. But yeah, that's the story on how I got caught.
Oh man, you just brought back memories. How you learned from your mistakes, you learned from that situation, which is very good. How do you think that like your mistakes have affected you as a person and as an artist?
Oh Lord, these some deep questions, Eric. As an artist, now I'm gonna tell you what motivates a writer is experience.
Mm-hmm.
As an artist, it's motivated me to write about some things. Like these experiences, I know I'm not the only one that's done these things or that's been through some things.
Mm-hmm.
These experiences have allowed me to write certain things, like certain songs I wrote. And then what I'll do is I could be creative. I might put in a different perspective. I'll say what the female would say to me, but I write it like I'm in her situation. So if someone's listening to it, they'll be like, "Oh yes, I agree with that." Then I might write some songs about how I messed up. And yeah, so that's how it's affected me as an artist. How it's affected me as a person. Well, I'm gonna say this. I don't hurt. Well, we discussed this. I don't hurt a lot. I don't really like. I don't feel certain emotions that I should feel.
Mm-hmm.
So these situations, they have opened my eyes to understand what other people feel. Because just because I'm not feeling doesn't mean they're not feeling, and that's something that I misinterpreted. Because sometimes I would feel as if, oh, this ain't that bad. I'm gonna just do this. Or a girl ain't grab her. I'll just break up with her. It won't be that bad. But knowing I'm not gonna be hurt, but I wouldn't consider that she would be hurt. And so as a person, it's just made me more considerate and more aware of people's feelings.
So you're more conscious.
Yeah, more conscious.
And in this, oh, go ahead.
And it's just, well, no, I forgot the thought. Go ahead.
I was just gonna ask if this for people in general. Like, is this for everybody that you're ever going to meet in life? Are you going to take this same lesson that you took now in ninth grade?
Yes, because I think there's no point of making mistakes if you don't learn from them. Now, I have made mistakes. I've made mistakes more than once, but making them I will say, this Corona quarantine, all this bull, it has changed because it's just allowed me to sit back and think. Because for some reason, all these things I was wrong, and I used to think, oh, I didn't do nothing wrong. I was just having fun. I'm a boy. I was just thinking like that. But this Corona, sitting back, reflecting on everything, I see how I was wrong, and how I did mess up.
That's also something I want to touch up on. How have you been during this pandemic? Like during the whole, like from, what was it, March until now? How have you like, what was the process of Abdullah going through this?
Well, it wasn't that bad. Me as a person, I'm not one with a bunch of friends. I'm not a person that has a lot of friends because a lot of people do not like me. That's just how it is. You're gonna have people that don't like you. But the people that I am cool with, see, I separate relationships in a certain way. I have associates, then I have friends, then I have friends I could tell certain things to. So the associates, I just fell off with all of them. I haven't talked to any of them. The friends, I have spoken to them, but a close friend that I've told certain things to, that relationship is expired, I would say. And I will say it's been real lonesome. Like when you really realize, like in school, I say hey to people, what's up? You don't realize how alone you are until you like actually sit back and you be like, dang, no one seems to call my phone, or no one does this. So then what people do, like if you like call like what's up, or like Sierra, Tashi, people I talk to, it's just like, y'all might be like, why are you so happy? I'll be like, oh my God, thank you for calling me. Like, thank you for checking up on me. Cause it really does feel good. Cause I was never the initiator. I don't initiate anything. Like, I'm not one to be like, call somebody, oh, hey, what's up? Da, 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 da. Unless I'm really extremely bored. But yeah.
Yeah. And I understand that, and I've kind of seen that every time like we're on the phone, how like it's like a relief thing. Like you're finally getting to talk to somebody.
Like I saw Pearl, Leela, Maggie, and Raina the other day, and I was just like, wow. When you think of, what do you say?
At the Chipotle thing, right?
Yeah, at the Chipotle thing. When I thought about it, I was like, I haven't seen them since March. I haven't seen them since March, and I don't really talk to them on a regular basis, unless we have class together. But over the phone, you don't really see how people really look. So then when I saw them, I was just like, wow, y'all really look different. Like Pearl's skin her skin's glowing more. Leela's hair got longer. Raina's face looks more mature. Maggie looks different. She looks more mature. It was just like, wow, it just feels real good. It was real exciting.
Really exciting to be around people.
Yeah.
How has the pandemic helped you creatively? Like, what have you been creating since you've been in this pandemic? Or have you been creating at all?
I've been creating a lot. It's actually good because, especially like in the summertime, and even though we're at school, I just have more time to focus on things. Like acting, I really like acting, but singing it's just being on the stage. It allows me to how I put this. Singing and acting do two different things for me. Acting allows me to be on the stage and express myself, but it also allows me to step into something and leave past situations and everything out back there off the stage. Singing, it allows me to come on there with my emotions because I wrote these songs. So it allows me to feel the experiences and feel what I'm feeling. So they do two different things for me. So because of that, I've been working on like singing more. I've been making songs, beats. I make more beats than I will say I make more beats than I write. Some beats, my creative process goes different. Sometimes I write a song and then I might play a beat to it. Other times that's unusual. I don't really do that. What I usually do is I make a beat for some reason. I make a beat and then I listen to the beat and I write to the beat. It's weird. Some people say you're supposed to write first, but I'm like, that's your creative choice. My creative choices are different. But yeah, so it has affected me. I would just say it's allowed me to put more energy into it in my art and craft.
That's good. That's really good. And speaking of creative choices, you take a lot of creative choices, especially when we were in school. Like a lot of your creative choices were like really big and out there and wide, and everybody could see you. Now it doesn't seem like it seems very dumbed down now, very small. How is that? Where did that come from? Has that come from being in the theater department?
Uh, yeah. Well, expressions when I'm real big and things, I'm a person that doesn't like to leave anything unsaid or undone. I'm gonna say what I gotta say, and I'm gonna say how it is. Cause I don't like to think on stuff. I don't like to sit back and be like, oh, I should have said this. So I do everything that I think should be done. So in theater, I do big things. So it's called risk. Well, you're in theater.
Yeah.
I take a lot of risk. Sometimes the teacher might be like, wow, that was a really good risk. And then I'm like, thank you. And then the teacher might be like, that wasn't a good choice. But the reason why I take big risk is because I'd rather do it. And then they say that wasn't good, then not do it and know that, then have the regret of not doing it and knowing doing it allows me, not doing it will be like, oh God, I should have did this thing. But doing it means like, oh, well, now I know if I would have did that, it would have failed it anyway, any other way. But it has dimmed down because of theater, because when I started, theater was, like I said, I was used to musical theater. I did a lot of big roles, and I did Lion King, played Simba, The Wiz, Scarecrow, just different things. So musicals are more, you're like, and then it's more, because musicals is a mixture of everything. It's like you have to act, you have to sing, and you have to dance, which is complicated. So I didn't have a good mix of all of it. So when I came to theater, it actually channeled me. It channeled me and allowing me to focus on the acting and not like it. It just calmed me down. I was able to like express myself more progressively without being real explosive and get the same point across without making big risk. So yeah, it has dimmed down because of theater.
How do you feel about this quote? I don't know who said it. I forgot. But the biggest risk is being yourself, or something along that lines. How do you feel about that?
Okay, let me give me 1 second. The biggest risk is being yourself.
Yeah. And I asked you that because I know that you're a real out there person, and you're real expressive, and you don't really care about what people think. And this is why I really had you on the podcast, because you don't care at all what other people think about you, and you're just really out there. So how do you feel about that?
The biggest risk is being yourself. Well, I agree with it in a sense. Being yourself does come with risk. It depends who you are as a person. You might being yourself might cause people not to like you. So that's a risk right there. Being yourself might cause people to like you. But also, now I wouldn't say that don't be yourself because of the risk. Never. I don't fear risk. I really don't. Like, because I said this before, if you don't take the risk, then you have regret. But taking the risk, if you fail, then you know you would have failed anyway. So being the big, you said the biggest risk is being yourself. That was the quote.
Yeah.
I don't think. It all depends on who you are. Being yourself, if you have like a deep, dark secret, and then you become yourself, that could be your biggest risk. That could be your obstacle. But if you have other things in your life, being yourself might not be the risk. Being myself is certainly not my risk. that was never a risk of mine.
Well, obviously we know that because you're a real out there person, and everybody knows you, and you're right. Either they don't like you or they do like you. But the ones that do like you, and like the ones that do enjoy your company, like me, Sierra, and Tashi, we just know. We see, I don't know, it's kind of weird. Like I see something like a potential in you that's real, and an energy in you that's real. It's real strong.
I'm glad you said that. I was speaking to Sierra because we had the conversation, and I was like, what are things I could work on? And she told me all the things I could work on. And you was like, dang, that would have hurt my feelings.
Yeah.
And it just like I just told you, I don't really feel certain things sometimes. I was just like, oh wow, okay. So then I asked her, which is interesting how you say I enjoy my company. I asked her, I said, well, if there's all these things I need to fix about me, why do you still talk to me? Like, why do you still be around me? And she said, because I like being your friend. So that I think that just shows no matter all the big challenges that you have and things you need to fix, there's always something that can be liked about someone.
Message.
And it's your honesty, your rawness, how willing you are to be yourself.
It's like a blobfish when I think about it. A blobfish might be the ugliest animal, in my opinion. It just looks ugly. But if you touch it, some people might like that slimy feeling. Some people like slime. So the texture of it might be something they like, but they might not really like how it looks. So staying around it is just because they like how it feels.
Yeah.
That's a good way of explaining it.
Do you feel that the people that don't like you don't really know who you are? Because I talk to a lot of people that be like, and I vouch for you all the time. Like, I'll be like, oh yeah, I'm doing, like I told people, oh yeah, I'm doing a podcast with Abdullah this week. They was like, oh, Abdullah, like, why are you doing it with Abdullah? And I'll be like, cause if you really know and talk to Abdullah, he's actually a really great person. Like, do you feel like the people that don't like you just don't know enough about you or have this perception of you that may or may not be true?
Well, I'm going to say this. Whatever they see or whatever I said to them is true. If I said something to you that you didn't like, I'm sorry, but that's just how I feel. The question was, if they got to really know me, would they like me?
Yes.
I don't know. People like certain things and people don't. Like you say, I'm real blunt. People like that. People like honesty. Some people might not like. They be like, "Oh, some things you just need to keep to yourself," and they'll cry in my face. And I just like, I'm sorry, but I don't leave anything unsaid.
Hold on. I'll be back. Hey yo, sorry we had a little bit of technical difficulties. It's all good though. We're back. If you remember what you were saying, you can.
Yeah, the question was, yeah, go ahead, repeat it.
Do you think people would like you if they really got to know who you really are?
Well, it's dependent on the person. There's certain personality traits that go well together, and there's some that don't. If I'm a blunt person, if there's someone that can't take harsh things, then they're not going to like me. It's just how it is. But if you're someone that's honesty. I'm not honest all the time, but I like honesty. No one's honest all the time. But I'm good with people that I don't like people that criticize. Like if I say something, they might criticize it. If it's wrong, I want you to tell me how it's wrong, not tell me, oh, you is just disgusting. I hate you. Like just down talk you. Like a good person that's good at that is Sierra. Sierra disagrees with a lot of things I say. But she always has a respective approach of approaching it where it's not like harmful or mean. So it depends on the person. Either like it comes down, people aren't going to like you. If you really get to know me, that's your choice. I have open arms. It's up to you. I'm not like, I don't like, well, I do. It's certain people I don't like and I just won't talk to. But if I like you and you start talking to me and we're cool, then that's that. If they got to know me, so if someone gets to know me, will they like me? Yes and no. That's the bottom line. There's things they're gonna like and there's things they're not.
That's a real good take on that. I want to go back to when you say you don't like criticism. Are you aware that criticism is going to be something that you get no matter who you are or what you do or how far you get into life? You're going to be criticized on everything. Like you understand that, right?
Oh yeah, I do. Especially in the area field I'm in. Mm-hmm. If I would listen to, you know how many people tell me I cannot sing?
Yeah.
You know how many people tell me? You know how many people tell me I cannot act? A lot of people. What you do is, even if everyone doesn't tell me I can't sing. There are people that do tell me I can't sing. It's up to you to choose what you want to believe.
Message.
Mm-hmm. So people that tell me I can't sing, I'll just be like, huh, really? Like one time I was in the hallway And then I did a performance, and I was talking to this girl, and she was like, "Hey, we did so good." And then she was like, "Why are you so quiet?" And then someone behind me said, "Cause you can't sing." And then I turned around, they were gone. I didn't even see who they were. So when I realized your critics, some critics don't even got the courage to say the stuff to your face. So that just the people that say it to my face, I actually respect them. Like certain people, they might tell me, if you write this song is good, but you should fix this. I'm not gonna like somebody that lets me release the song and then it's just bad. I'd rather them tell me. So I know I'm gonna have critics, and I know there's people that don't like me for what I do and the things I say.
How do you balance, or how do you separate the critics from the constructive criticism, or I should say, not critiques, like the bad, like the negative critiques, like the negative Nancy's in the constructive criticism?
Okay, so constructive criticism. How do I separate constructive criticism from bad critiques?
Mm-hmm.
Well, constructive criticism is to help you. So if I write a song, one of my friends might say, "That's good, but the beat, I don't think the drum should go that hard. I think you should slow it up." That's constructive criticism. Bad critiques would be, "That was bad. You don't sound right. You can't sing. Maybe you should sing softer on this part. Maybe you shouldn't approach that note so hard." So constructive criticism and bad critiques. Bad critiques is just it's more harsh, and it's not. It's intended to hurt the person's feelings, and you can tell. Like things I say to people, I say how it is, and it might be perceived as, "Oh, he's just trying to hurt my feelings," but that's simply not the case.
Yeah, I always could tell that with you. Like you always, to me, you remind me of like a comedian, right? Because a comedian's intent is to make people laugh. Their jokes is never to harm people, or they don't make the jokes with the intent to harm people. They make the jokes with the intent to make people laugh, right? I get the same feeling from you. You say things to better people. You don't say things to hurt them, but you say them with the intent to better their understanding, or to try to better their understanding. And I remember we was talking on the phone with Sierra and Tashi that night, and Sierra says you struggle with listening to people and all the other list of things that she said. How have you acted upon that from that conversation? How have you acted upon that?
Well, listening, all the things she said were very true. So, with listening, what I tend to do is when I'm speaking to someone and I'm done speaking, when they're talking and I disagree with one thing they said, I'm like, "Oh, that's not true," and I think about how it's not true, and I wait for that thought instead of listening to the whole thing they say. So what I've been trying to do is just putting more attention into just letting someone finish their thought, because I'll be like, that's not true if someone says something before I let them finish. Yeah. So I just been trying to listen more. My trouble is listening. The only way to fix listening is to listen, because what I do is I hear but I don't listen. Hearing and listening are different things. I could take my computer and do this, and you might hear a sound like, "Oh, something, you just heard something," but to listen is to know that that's something slamming on a piece of glass. So I just been trying to put more attention into listening.
It's like the attention to detail, right?
Yeah.
Well, Dullah, I just want to say thank you for coming on the podcast. This has been an amazing episode. But however, before you go, I do want to do this segment. It's called Dead or Alive. And if you can choose one artist to work with, dead or alive, it can be in acting or singing. But which artist would you choose? I'm dying to know.
Well, singing, I would choose Michael Jackson and Whitney Houston. Well, I got to say one, Michael Jackson.
No, you don't got to say one. You can choose however many you want.
Well, okay. Well, singing would be my top three: Michael Jackson, stage performance; Whitney Houston, her vocals; and Luther Vandross, also his vocals. Now, acting, I would really like to work with Dead or Alive. I would like to work with Denzel Washington. I would like to work with what's a female actress, because I really like actresses. An actress. Viola Davis, she's a bomb actress, man.
Yeah.
How to Get Away with Murder? You gotta, if you don't watch that series, watch season 4, episode 13 when she went to the Supreme Court. I would want to work with her, and I would, man. I went crazy when this man came to school. Remember we had Dave Chappelle and all of them. I wasn't really that excited for Dave Chappelle. I went crazy when I saw Chris Tucker.
For real?
I was like, oh yeah, everyone was like, it's just Chris Tucker. It's just something about that man. He's raw and he's natural. Like he's not trained in acting. He's just natural. And I would just want to see that and him to teach me that, just being natural.
Were you outside with us when we got the pic with him?
Yes, I got a picture with him. I got it on my phone. Well, I'll send it to you. Maybe you can post it.
Yeah, send it to me so I can put it in here.
Yeah, when I met him, and it was just like, man, he's getting old. Because everyone knows I'm an old soul. So when I see people that are still alive, I'm like, dang, they are getting old. Because I look at them when they were young and when they were in their prime. Yeah. It's like, dang, they're getting old. But yeah, those people I would like to work with.
All right, well, Abdullah, like I said, thank you so much for coming on the podcast. I really appreciate you for spending time with me and to just talk to me about all this stuff that we have talked about. Anything that you want to promote or push, your Instagram, anything you got coming up?
Well, you post my Instagram. I'm working on an album. Mm-hmm. I don't know when it's going to be out, but for my birthday, I will be having a listening party. Because I like criticism. Not criticism. I like critiques. I will be having a listening party so people can listen to the songs and see the top 3 they like. And I have one more message to my haters. To my haters. Hate. And that's it.
Oh, well, thank you, Abdullah. This has been another installment of the Arts Block Podcast. I appreciate everyone who's watching, everyone who's liking, everyone who's commenting, everyone who's reposting and sharing. I appreciate all of you guys. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, turn on post notifications so you can be notified every time we post. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts, leave me a 5-star rating. Shout out to everybody listening everywhere else. You can follow me on Instagram at Eric Curry III. You can follow the podcast at the Arts Block Podcast. Remember that artists never die, and I'll see y'all next week.